Well, Clarence really is a guy who I don't think he's had a real strong family background. He's had to really sort of create his own sort of world, you know, his own sort of fantasy world. He's a guy who spends a lot of time alone. And how he does it, I suppose, is to lose himself in the movies. You know, he goes to the movies and he works in comic book stores, so he spends a lot of time fantasizing about, I guess, heroic characters. And I think Elvis, in a way, is you know, his father figure or guidance counselor. You know, however you want, whatever you want to call him. He's really my higher power. You know. Just wonderful, wonderful girl. I loved working with her. She's very special, very bright. I mean, incredibly bright. Very funny, charismatic, angelic, beautiful human being. I liked her a lot. Those types of scenes, when they come about, it's almost very therapeutic, you know, because I'm not really like that. You know, I don't lose my temper in that particular fashion. So, you know, I really, you know, look for opportunities and moments to really, I guess, get it out of my system, and that scene really that'll hold me over for a good year, I think. I mean, it's a love story set in just a completely wild, turbulent type of atmosphere. You know that it's just a whirlwind of insanity, really.
I mean, Quentin Tarantino is probably our most gifted writer right now for a 24, 25-year-old, and has great hope. In my mind, I see him as a hope for the future. And he is a young man who grew up in a video store and saw all the videos and loved the violence in the videos and loves movies and talks about movies as if you were talking about a child, you know. This film is full of love of film, and the violence in it is a reflection of our time, but it's also his dream of himself as a hero. I mean, it's really the story of a lonely guy who works in a comic book store whose boss wants to get him laid, you know, and the young prostitute comes and falls in love with him. This is all a fantasy of a young man. I mean, of a young man's dream, Tarantino's dream, and how she had a pimp and he's going to go kill that pimp to straighten out his life, and Elvis is telling him it's okay. I mean, this is a wonderful, human, dreamlike, I can't say Huck Finn and Tom Sawyer, but it has all the aspects of that kind of young writer, young visionary. And the violence doesn't bother me, and it's also referenced to other films. He is a historian, Tarantino, and I love the movie. I can't say enough good things about it. The violence is part of it, but it's a good, entertaining part of it too, and it's humorous. And when the mafia and the police and all the various people that come together at the end of this film, it's like a great big opera.
He's a pimp, and he's a white guy who thinks he's black. And I said, okay, I'll do it. And then, so I shook his hand. We did the deal. And then I just went away, and I worked with a sound guy on the last movie I did, who had hair just like this. And I thought, well, maybe dreadlocks, you know, like a white guy is like try to dread his hair. I had this lens and this scar and the teeth, and I just kind of put it all together. You know, he could have rejected it, and he said it's too much, or lose the eye, or the teeth are good, but anyway, I think yesterday was the first day, I think. And he just looked at me and said, yep, great. He said, check the boots out. Well, they're not my idea, but... So, here he is. Well, they all come out of the head of Quentin Tarantino, who is really great. He's a real cool new kid on the block. I mean, the writer of and director of Reservoir Dogs, which you know about because it went to Cannes, I think. Yeah, he's just got an imagination, and he can take characters and put a special kind of twist on them that is unique. You know, they're people that we've seen before, but he takes them and it's, you know, it's not gangsters, it's not the baddies against the goodies, it's not Goodfellas, it's not Mean Streets, it's not, you know, it's a real original take. Well, I was working in New York, and we were filming in, I think is it Williamsburg? Yeah, in Queens or Brooklyn? Yeah, I'm not sure. And we were at you know, the campers, the trailers were out on the street, and there were these black guys hanging out. And I heard this voice, and I thought, yeah, that's the guy. So I had a tape recorder, and I said to him, yo, come here. And I took him into my trailer, and I said, do you mind if I tape your voice? So I taped his voice, and then I just wear headphones, and I just listen to it, and, you know. And then I'm working with these great guys, so, you know, you're hearing the rhythms, and, you know.
She thinks Charlie's Angels were kind of her idea of sexy woman when she was a little girl, so she sort of wanted to grow up to kind of be like a Charlie's Angel. And I think she thinks the Southern dialect is particularly attractive in a woman, so she's constantly recreating herself. She's like a chameleon. She's created who she is from the time she meets him, you know. She's going to survive, and she's a little bit of an oddball, but she thinks she's beautiful, and she's arrived, and he thinks that she's beautiful, and she thinks he's beautiful, and they're just so cool. It's sort of like a fairy tale in any kind of myth. There's the hero and the heroine, and what do they go through? This battle, you know, scarred, messy thing, and then at the end, what is the payoff? I mean, in life, to have real love with someone, you're going to encounter a lot of ugly things. Maybe they're not as visual as this movie, but maybe they're subtler. But to sort of conquer that, you go through a lot. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of romance and passion in this movie. And I think women, you know, it's almost sexist to say women will be turned off to this movie because of the violence. I think everybody gets a certain adrenaline charge from fear, from excitement, from nerves, you know. I think a lot of women like Psycho and things that move you, you know.
Yeah.
And this movie can move you emotionally, can move you romantically, it can move you passionate, sadness and fear, and it just has a lot going on. I don't think this is a movie you can sit back and just, oh, okay, well, there's a movie. You're a part of the experience. I mean, it takes you on a ride, and you're with it, like it or not. And I think everyone will like it.
Quentin is a very rare animal, yeah. That what he does, he brings a reality to these people with a sense of humor. And it's very difficult to find a writer who can give you darkness and humor together. You know, you either get one or the other. There's very few writers in the world today who have that ability to give you both things at once. It is a very strange route that these kids take in order to fulfill a dream, and en route they encounter some very difficult and tough situations, which the outcome is very violent. You know, but I don't want to turn an audience off with the violence. So therefore, in terms of my handling of the violence, I'm not trying to make it acceptable. Is the wrong word, but I think the best way to describe it, you should feel it rather than see it. I read it, I fell in love with it, and I think as a director, making a movie is about falling in love with a movie. And why now? There's no, you can never anticipate a time when you meet a project and fall in love with a project. it comes your way and I see it and I grab it and I get tunnel vision, and I'm totally preoccupied with it until I've finished it. The script is very fresh and very different, not in terms of the story of the movie. You've seen the story of the movie many times before. You know, kids on the run with a suitcase full of drugs or a suitcase full of money. It was fresh and different because the characters are unique. They're unique because they are dark and sweet and tender and violent and also have a sense of humor. And Quentin Tarantino is the thing that makes this movie and the script unique. Christian Slater is Clarence. The sweetness, the darkness, the danger, and the double edge to him. He is the character.
Patricia Arquette.
Patricia, sweet, dangerous, charming, beautiful, sexy. She again became the character. She isn't the character. When I first met her, I met Patricia Arquette. 3 weeks later, she did her homework, and she went into character and remained in character the rest of the movie. She became Alabama, so I never called her Patricia from that point on. I called her Bama.
Dennis.
Dennis is one of my all-time heroes. Chris Walken, one of my all-time heroes. They're great. They're great actors, and at what someone said, the peak of their careers. They've been at the peak of their careers for a long time. They do great work, and the two of them brought each other out. It's like watching two samurai warriors pacing each other out whilst they did that scene. They're brilliant. Gary, strange, fucked up, weird, and brilliant. Brad, I was really surprised that Brad came to me because again, he's an enormous talent. He's an enormous comer. You know, he's going to be, you know, one of the big boys in this world very soon. Already is. And I was surprised he had such a strong fix on who this small character was in this piece. Michael Rappaport is new on the scene. Michael is Michael. Michael's what you get on the screen. He's this big-hearted, sweet kid who has an enormous ability of controlling his craft, and he is going to be another one he is himself on screen. And his strength is his warmth and his sweetness and his integrity. True romance, the true romance lives. True romance lives, and it lives and dies in the hearts of those who believe it. And it lives in the hearts of these two characters in this movie.